you can wing it. If you're early stage startup, you need to do, I guess, quite wild solutions when you are hitting the market first time, and everything cannot be perfect because you want to go out.
Maintaining that level of communication, making sure everyone's working together, everyone knows what's happening is really important then.
Yeah, Slack game. Improve your Slack game. Of course, we are scaling all the time. When I started, there was like 1,400 people all over the company. And now there is 15,000.
Oh, wow.
Don't just put ticket to Jira and go home. Communicate in a good description like this happened. Of course, mobile releases are always tough because need some approvals, of course, from the stores to get your applications out.
So what should QA professionals be preparing for when it comes to AI?
It's a lot of opportunities and some critical thinking is needed.
Hello, and welcome to Tech Effect, the podcast where we interview industry leaders and experts to share their insights on the topics and trends shaping the tech industry. My name is Josh from TestDevLab's marketing team, and today I'm joined by Pekka Pönkänen. Pekka has over 10 years' experience in software testing and is currently a QA Competence Lead at Wolt, a Helsinki-based technology company that has developed a local commerce platform that connects people looking to order food, groceries, and other goods. Recently, in addition to his work at Wolt, Pekka has been touring Europe to explain how his quality-first mindset has transformed Wolt's mobile release processes, talking at tech conferences like Romania's DevTalks Romania and Nordic Testing Days. Welcome to the show, Pekka.
Hello. Thanks for having me today.
Thank you for joining us on the podcast. It's a pleasure to have you with us today, and I'm looking forward to discussing your journey and what you've been doing at Wolt. But first, I'd like to take it back to the very beginning of your journey in tech. Maybe we could start by you telling us a bit more about your journey to Wolt and how you got involved in software quality assurance.
So, everything started when I was a young boy. So, I got a computer quite early days, and I got into computers. I guess it's kind of classic story. And at the college, I was studying electronics and IT. And that time I was like, hey, maybe this IT thing could make some income in the future. This could be like a nice thing. And I got my first job at the Finnish biggest media house, and I was starting in the service desk doing IT things. A lot of Windows stuff. It was nice time. I was there like 3 years, and then I thought like, hey, maybe I should go to school. I could learn something new. Then I found software engineering. I went to University of Applied Sciences, changed job once there. But then my colleague said like, hey, Pekka, you are looking a job on the software side. Like there is tester trainee position open. Would you like to give it a try? And I went there and I got hired. I didn't know anything about it, but it seems I impressed people or something. But so then my journey started with web application testing, desktop applications, and fast forward, went to product house to test some chat messaging application, native mobile apps, first touch to the mobiles. And then 2020, September, I joined Wolt. And then everything started.
That's where you've been.
So 5 years ago.
Nice. And you've liked it there?
Yes.
Very good. And you've mentioned in the past about your QA mindset that developed along the way as you were in software testing. And what is a quality assurance mindset to you?
I think I got really good in the right track in the first job. I had a good mentor there, and the quality mindset it has changed during the years. I think when I started in testing, it was more this assurance approach. I think it's like pretty like classical way of doing testing, but at Wolt, we changed it a little bit there and came more this kind of assistance approach. So working more as a coach, enabler, more like helping to go through critical projects and making sure that all the aspects of the application is covered when we ship good quality stuff.
That's nice. So it sort of developed along the way, and it became what it is now. It wasn't just one day like, I really care about quality. It's like, oh, I this is important, and it is really important that we ship good quality products.
Yes, and I think there is some also, it somehow changes also along the way. What kind of team leads do you have, or product leads? They make a big difference in your mindset also, how teams work. So I will tell maybe later about some release practices, but we change like our quality mindset at Wolt, because the company was scaling so hard at the COVID times that it would mean that like we would need to hire a lot of QAs to cover all the gaps. Like a lot of engineers are coming, a lot of features coming, and teams. And if all of us QAs were testing everything, it's not sustainable. Like it was not good. So we needed to find another way. And this kind of assistance mode, be help, and everybody is responsible for their own craft was the approach.
Okay.
How we roll today.
So everyone's involved. Everyone has a share in the overall product.
Yes.
That's
and
good.
Then it's like it's inject in the mindset of everyone, whatever you do in the product side.
Quality team building quality products.
Exactly.
Wonderful. And you've been at Wolt now 5 years. What drew you to work there and stay there for 5 years? Can you tell me a bit more maybe the culture and what it's like there in general?
Great question. Overall, like Wolt quality, I think it comes from very, very different. I cannot answer fully on this question, but there is like some big topics which makes it a great place to work. First of all, we have like great and the best customer support overall. And then another one is that the hiring process itself, we really put time on it to find the candidates. We want this candidate which is nice to work with and does the job. It's so important to find the right colleagues and the team members when you build something great and beautiful. And then the mindset at Wolt itself is that the mindset is not like, that it's not my problem, like go somewhere else to find someone to fix your thing you want to know. It's like everybody, if you see something and you have capability to do it, just open a PR and let's go. Like it's like we care. Like everybody need to care about the overall product. It's not like isolated in a way that now only this team can do fixes to this area. It's like everybody can. Like go there, and if you see something bad, let's do it. Like let's fix it. That's the mindset.
Yeah, and it's like you mentioned already. It's about making sure everyone's involved in that QA process, doing the best work, and I guess part of that is picking the right team members, making sure they fit in the company, and can get that, or maybe already have that sort of QA mindset of I'm involved in the overall quality of launching a great product, and everyone's a part of that, and it's not just that's someone else's job. It's throughout the whole company. Everyone cares.
Everyone cares.
Wonderful. So I'd like to touch on the importance of QA in customer-facing apps like Wolt. Nowadays, smartphones have become part of everyday life, meaning more and more organizations in the public and private sector have an app that can be downloaded so people can access their services. So in the modern environment, how would you communicate to our audience the real importance of mobile testing, especially in sort of the modern day?
The modern day, definitely, it's if you want to stay on the market, your stuff needs to work. Like and that's like the big risk you take if you don't put time on the testing and the quality itself. So that's like it's a big thing. Like if your application is just sucks, and it's the competitors will will eat you in the sense that, so you need to be prepared that your stuff works and it's user friendly and does the job for the domain, and in compliance side and security side and so depending of course of the domain. But so it has big importance, I would say.
Big importance. So it's not just a case of, well, this is a competitive advantage. It's sort of a necessity now. If you're not making sure your app meets customer expectations, if it's not delivering, if it doesn't, work properly, your competitors will just eat your market share. You'll fall to the wayside because people won't enjoy their experience. They won't enjoy using the app. And your competitor who does do QAs, make sure everything works and that the whole customer experience works well on that. Even sort of not just customer experience, but like their data is safe on the app, all their personal details, maybe their banking details, their name, their address. It's important to make sure that's secure. And if you have a security breach or the app doesn't work or the functionality doesn't work, you're really going to sort of suffer.
I think in the modern world, it's one night and you are down. Like if something really bad happens, like it's brutal, but you need to be ready. Like to be that you are compliant and you protect your user and be kind to the user.
Be kind to the user. No, that is very important, and it's I guess the case from the customer perspective, as you said, having good app works, make sure they're safe, making sure they're happy. And it is a necessity nowadays. It is a necessity, and it's important. It's not just about compliance. It's also about going above and beyond, because as I said, everyone has a smartphone now. And if something goes wrong, that news is going to spread really quickly. And your competitor is going to jump on that and be ready to take advantage of your downfall just because you maybe didn't do the process as well as you could have.
Yes.
So I guess that does sort of lead in. What would you say are some of the major risks of maybe thinking of QA as an afterthought? Because obviously Wolt does it. Everyone has a share. It's in your whole software development lifecycle. Everyone's involved in it. There might be some companies out there who have it as an afterthought. Oh, we'll build the app, then we'll test it. Or, they don't get the right coverage. They do the bare minimum. So what would be the risks associated with not doing your QA process properly?
I would say, of course, you can wing it in if you're early stage startup. And you need to do I guess quite wild solutions when you are hitting the market first time, and everything cannot be perfect because you want to go out. So I think it's okay in these kind of scenarios when you are young and hungry. Like you go fast and your
user base is still small.
And you are just getting the market. It's okay. Like do some what is the word now? Some cowboy action.
Yeah.
In sense, but of course in this kind of waterfall approach you are kind of like referring now. It's if it's sloppy, even the end of the testing, it might lead to that we have a buggy application as an output, and nowadays the user is like, "It didn't work. I will never gonna come back."
Yeah.
So if your like domain is ready to take that hit, okay, but if you really care, it's you want to keep the user. So if you have the good application, they will definitely tell to their grandma and
their
grandpa,
friends,
that use this app.
Dad.
This is the best. So yeah, I would say that you lose the customer.
Yeah. So if it's not done properly, you do run the risk of losing your customers, and especially even in that early stage where it is Wild West, maybe you get away with it, but as you start really focusing, I want to scale my app, I want to put this out there. If it's not working, they're not going to recommend it to their friends. You're not going to get that word of mouth. Oh, I've used this app. It's really convenient. They're going to be like, it doesn't really work. Don't bother, man. And I guess also from a software perspective, or if you're really sort of focused on the launch, if you do QA last minute, it wasn't in there, and you find there's a bunch of bugs, you might have to push your entire launch deadline back because like, well, this isn't functioning, it's not safe, it's not secure. We're going to have lawsuits out of this because we've lost, especially in Europe, our customers' data. And simultaneously, it can be a lot more expensive because Wolt, obviously, you have it in your process. It helps you speed up your delivery because you're not doing it at the end. But it's also cheaper in the long run because if you wait till the very end, do your QA testing, find there's a bunch of problems, you then have to go all the way back to the start and start working through all those bugs. And that costs a lot more money to fix it later than it would be to get it right the first time.
Yes, correct. I mean, in the end, I wanted to add to the last one that if you do the testing in the end, so maybe someone had a really optimistic timeline that, hey, like this week we are going out. It's like I marked it like 6 months ago already. But then this whoever is doing this testing, is it QA or this person or team who's doing it, they find interesting stuff and they raise their concerns and they are big one. So then it means push the release and and then in that point at least this company should get this kind of like aha moment that, hey, maybe it would be actually really good to get example QAs when we are starting to build the application, when we have 0 lines of code and when we are doing the product and the designs. So there is a person also who can review and flag some stuff, and maybe some other engineers from the other ones, maybe it's data or security, it's like, hey, this is not gonna fly. Like if it's done, the preparation good, it's fun to release when you have like more stable the preparations time and the whole cycle in the end, because then the pressure goes to the end, and I think just people don't sleep and stressed, and it's not mentally for someone really good. Like,
no, I don't imagine so. But yeah, and as you mentioned, it's getting to the endpoint, and it's a really fun time to have that release, and it all goes well. You're not stressing about it, and it also comes to it's not just doing it late; it's integrating it. It's also doing it properly. Like for example, at Wolt, you're not just like, oh, we're only going to test Apple. You have to test Apple, Android. You have to make sure that you know your audience, you know your users, and that the testing you do meets their needs. You know you're going to have Android, you know you're going to have iOS, you know you're going to maybe have a third-party app, and you have to make sure you've covered all your bases so you're not stressing when it comes to that release.
Correct.
Wonderful. So digging deeper into Wolt specifically, at conferences this year, you've talked about how you go from 3 to 5 week mobile releases to just 1 week without sacrificing quality. So how did you and your team transform how Wolt does its native mobile release process using your QA mindset?
So overall, 2020 when I joined, we had of course, mobile releases have been done already 2017 onwards at least, and we were releasing when we kind of like, let's do release, okay, like it's nothing like there is no plan like or anything, and slowly improving that, and then we had 2021 we had this kind of aha moment that QA cannot test everything, let's change the mindset, and also we had some kind of plan on the release. Finally, we had the old setup could be something like 3 to 6 weeks. So now we had like 3 weeks. So it was a great success that time. But then we are scaling all the time. When I started, there was like 1,400 people all over the company. And now there is 15,000.
Oh, wow.
So the engineering, there were not that many engineers. And now there is at least 750 engineers plus all the others on the top. So the product is like around 1K. I need to remember that we have more than one application, of course. But so a lot of people are coming in, a lot of new teams are created, and people want to get their stuff out. Like it's like, hey, we have this lot of new. Wait 3 weeks, like, and there is market doesn't maybe wait this time, so we need to improve it more. Like be faster, some failures, successes, and then we got to the 2-week one, and then it was time to let's make sure that our platform and CI and automation is correct. Let's go for the 1 week releases, and nowadays we are. And of course, mobile releases are always tough because need some approvals, of course, from the stores to get your applications out. So that's short brief about it. But platform engineers, important.
Very important.
Very important.
I guess that sort of links to our next question of, for mobile apps like Wolt that are really customer facing, what would you say are for the audience, what are some primary needs they need to mention? You mentioned the platform engineers, but there is any sort of really important stuff that maybe helped Wolt go a little faster, but a golden rule maybe for the audience at this point of just...
Communication. It's of course, there is technical things, but if the communication fails, it's a mess.
Yeah.
So put time to make, if you want to improve your release cycle, it's perhaps good idea to make this kind of like a little team. It can consist QAs, some leads, engineers, and start thinking about how to go forward, what kind of CI setups we need, what kind of build flavors and debug apps, production apps. What do you need when you for the release? What do you need? So gather team, make requirements, and when you have ideas, you need to propose it, of course, with the others.
Yeah.
Don't start doing decisions by your own that, hey, from today, and communicate with people. Make agreements with people when you have a lot of people. Yeah.
I was going to say, Wolt, you have 700 engineers, so it's important because at startups, if you maybe a team of 10 people, you are you're already communicating. You're probably in the same room. Yeah. It's easy to talk. Even as you scale, maintaining that level of communication, making sure everyone's working together, everyone knows what's happening is really important then.
Yes. Yeah. Slack game, improve your Slack game. And I think that's my golden, the communication and empathy.
And making sure you don't lose it as you scale then.
Yeah.
Because I imagine it's, again, you do it well and you've done it successfully, but by maintaining that communication as you've scaled, you've not lost your quality.
Yes.
That's really useful. Thank you. Communication is key. Never forget. So you mentioned in building your teams and making sure that's a key part of speeding up that release cycle. How does Wolt go about building those teams? Do you choose specific skill sets? Do you choose teams that work together? What is the process of building a really good QA team to make those launches fast?
Because in this sense, our QAs in a way are distributed around the company. And we are not crazy many because we are in this assistance mode that we enable teams and we watch different teams to ship their important features and help with them, testing practices and test automation and so forth. So it's the recruitment itself, of course, as need to be a very fun event. And you need to find the right people. I would definitely say that if the person is fun to work with and a good human, more important that this person is a really good and strong in technically.
That's
this I would say. You can hire a lot of people, but just it's the fit to the team.
Fit to the team.
And the team knows what's the fit. I mean, yeah. So yeah. I would say that, yeah.
Yeah, and you mentioned how the QA teams at Wolt are helping and assistancing. But did you have to change? I mean, you've been there 5 years. Have you had to change your maybe QA process as you've scaled? Was there a key element to the QA process that changed as you scaled so fast? Or
I briefly mentioned in the release cycle that when we realized that we cannot test everything, there's too many tickets, PRs, whatsoever, hot fixes coming up that we are the bottleneck. Like this happens, that QA comes to bottleneck, and this is another big topic to talk. But you don't want that. Like so, then we destroyed that and changed to the assistance mode, and everybody is taking the ownership. If you are part of this feature team example, you are responsible it, and you carry the consequences when releasing, like so. Yeah.
So integrating it into that software development lifecycle, and everyone has an important part of that, and that helped you with the scaling.
Yes. Main work is just to team practices to make them good, testing strategies, and make sure that you are part of in all the parts when the request comes that we would like to have this kind of thing, that you are there raising the concerns and pushing back if needed and helping. That we have quite mature people, so the domain knowledge is really helpful in these cases. So yeah, if you know a lot about your application and you are just testing on the end, you have lot to give.
No,
you have a lot to give. Like use that. It's a big advantage.
Big advantage.
Yeah, it's great advantage.
Oh, wonderful. I'll give you a small break from talking about Wolt for a second. Given that you've got extensive experience in your field, I'd like to look a bit deeper into the evolution of QA apps in general. So you've been working at Wolt 5 years, but you also worked in software testing before you started on web apps. Have the needs of modern apps changed, and is there any sort of big cycle changes? Because an app and the tools used in an app and the way an app worked in 2015 is very different to probably the more advanced needs of an app pushed out in 2025. So are there any big changes that have happened in sort of the QA cycle, or anything you've noticed that has changed in the QA space?
Big topic.
Big and broad.
I'm not much about this. I think this testing space have a lot of this terminology things, and there's like new hype words and stuff. But I would say, if you talk about the QA person's role, has it changed and the applications change. Nowadays, you can get a lot of things from cloud. It's like a crazy helpful thing that you can just click things and get spin up stuff. Great stuff. And if we talk about examples of mobiles, like, did you want to use 2015 emulators? It's horrible. Like, it's slow. Like, it's impossible. Like, it's crazy good nowadays. I think I like how simulators work in at least local environment. They're like really smooth. So this tooling and technology has made life easier and faster, and you're not like stressed and drinking too much coffee because you're waiting some random compiling, and like things are fast. So that's like a great thing. And I think this old waterfall approach, it has been little bit like shift away and talk about more this shift left thing, like past years. So I'm really happy that it's more involved in people are more involved in the start, because that's where the difference is made. It's like the old setup. I think it was not like really good, and I think I lived also that. But in that time, it's hard to know when you don't just know. Like, it's you live and learn, and then it's like, okay, like what I was really doing, what I was thinking. Like this doesn't make any sense.
It shows you've grown.
Yeah. So yeah, be early. Like
Be early.
be early.
So as you mentioned, there's a lot more tools available to QA engineers, and the technology is a lot better. And there is that waterfall effect of people are considering QA a lot earlier in the process. There's that waterfall effect. And that comes in part from QA is no longer really like a competitive advantage. Oh, that app works really well, I'm going to use it. It's now a necessity, because if you don't have it, you will get eaten up by your competitors because they are doing it. You're not doing it as well as them, and they will outcompete you. But your QA engineers at the same time have more tools and have more resources, and the tech that they work with is much faster and much better to use.
Yes, and if I can add also, but it also means that the technical requirements for the QA is raised. Like you need to be more aware, because now there's lots of new toys to use. You need to be more aware of them and start using them. So the requirements are higher. Like I think, like
it's also that
it's like more technical, and then there was this quality engineering has been some kind of hype word, which is an umbrella for many things. So more technical. The person need to be.
So more consideration, better tech, more tools, but the standard has been raised at the same time.
Yes. Yeah. World is going fast.
And QA engineers have to be ready to adapt and get on that and make sure, because if you've missed something, it grows in popularity, and you weren't ready. As you mentioned, you didn't start early. You're already behind.
Yes.
That's really useful. And I guess part of that being ready, making sure you have everything, being early, a large part of that is because it affects the end customer, the end user. So for customer-facing apps, customer feedback is crucial. So to you, and I guess to all QA engineers in general, how much value do you put on customer feedback loops and getting that user information to help you build a better app?
A lot. Feedback, of course, in consumer applications, feedback can come anywhere. Usually the feedbacks from your friends are really good, or someone's grandma cannot use it. It's like there is something really wrong. Like so feedback can come from your friends. It of course through the support, and as we have the best support in the world, we get really nice reports to our tech channels, and also we use a lot of Slack. Like we have this common channel where everybody can push their findings along the way, and it's easier then to find proper people to get them fixed. So customer comes from chat, customer comes from your family, or apps stores also. I've been debugging some Reddit bug reports sometimes, and it's so these I think these are the ones where what comes to my mind.
Everyone could be a user. You should take everyone's opinion on board. It doesn't have to be one source of information. It could be your friends, could be your co-workers, could be anyone.
Yes.
And a large part of the importance of that is it allows you to react. As you said, you have great customer support because you react to the customer has this. Okay, we can fix that. We can work on that. We're already on that. You're not letting anything fall out, and you're considering everyone in the process, and that's what keeps the customer happy.
Yes.
Wonderful. So customer feedback is also
important.
Incredibly important. Summed up in one word of just very important.
Very important.
So you've already given us a lot today, but just to help summarize in a way, do you have any golden rules of thumb, pardon the mobile app pun, I guess there, for business and QA teams that are struggling with those long release cycles, but want to improve their current process?
I think I mentioned like the communication, and maybe if you're struggling, do the team, create a team about releasing, and try to figure out the pain points of it. Of course, every time doesn't need to go like mega fast. Like we are working in this kind of domain that there is not people like dying because of the software bug.
Yeah.
But in some domains, I would never like recommend this kind of like go like more like you can go faster. It's like in the medical field, like you are not going fast. Like or maybe I don't know the domain. Of course, I guess the things are getting there faster. I guess, but the things are a little bit different on these places where people's lives are on the line. So tips, communication, find the right people. Try. It's just you need to give a try. Let's give a try. Are the people ready? But if you don't again communicate this thing, it will go horribly wrong.
Yeah.
And always need to remember with mobile applications that you cannot say when the application is out.
Yeah.
You need to always remember there is a third party who is giving the last stamp
of approval.
And then you can start thinking that how fast you want to go. Do you want to go like in 3 days or 1 week, or it depends on the domain. Like, but I would suggest that you try to be fast. Yeah. So when there is like a problems, you can know that you can be really like this system works like really good, but it doesn't mean that you need to really do it just because you are going fast. Maybe your domain is going a little bit slower and it needs more care and attention. So yeah, it depends on the case.
It depends on the case, but as I guess a rule of thumb is even as you scale, always communicate.
Yes.
Ensure you know your audience, know that your user could be anyone, make sure you don't leave anyone out, and always start early, both from the testing perspective, but also trying things, testing things, making sure when you see something happens, a new release, a new product, you're there with it, you're already looking into it, so you're moving fast, you're not falling behind, but you've got the communication to back you up.
Yes, correct. And yeah.
Good. So, and I guess the side thing is when you do change something, maybe you need to make a big change, be in the QA process or something. Do you have any extra rules for maybe making sure you don't create difficult situations for the whole team? Oh, we really need to change this. We really need to update that. Does that come with starting early and just being ready to adapt and moving fast? Or how do you ensure that if there is a big bug or there is something that comes up, it doesn't create whole problems for the whole team? You're reactive and ready for it.
Yeah, of course, early you should not really see this, but of course, like we are humans, and maybe sometimes you oversee something, and it's life. It's definitely life, but be strict that there is a big problem with your teams and the stakeholders. That hey, like I have a big one here, like. Do we have any possibilities to hide it with some feature flagging way, or can we roll back? Or these are good things to think about. If things go wrong, how can you cover? Like, can you take the bad feature away with the flag, or can you go really fast? Can you revert easily? So. Don't just put ticket to Jira and go home. Just remember to inform,
take ownership and
communicate. Make a communicate in a good description, like this happened. I would say this severity is high, and let's make it work.
Wonderful.
Yeah.
So we've looked at your past, how you got started. We've looked at the present, and I'd like to have a little question on the future. So a hot topic in QA is AI. Mm. For QA professionals in their field, seeing the rise of AI, it creates new challenges, new opportunities, and a lot of companies are trying to integrate AI. So what should QA professionals be preparing for? when it comes to AI, maybe what skills they need or what they should watch out for, and maybe there's some tools that can help them as well?
If you were not that familiar or comfortable with the very, very technical things, I think this is now the point that you need to go and try the tools. There are a lot of tools around, because I would love to see, or maybe they are, but I don't know, that we might see a lot of agents roaming around in your application. They work hard. Of course, you need to have some budget to make them running, most likely. So you will have a good buddy there, testing buddy, who is also discovering some edge cases and dangers. Maybe this agent can do some test cases for you and some user flows. So then you have a little bit more time to have this kind of human aspect also, the exploratory creativity. You have more time for that because maybe the robot can do a roam around endlessly your application and find issues. But yeah, you need to go and try the tooling.
Try out the tooling.
Of course, it's like you need to ask from your company licenses and others, and you need money for it. But go and try. Go and try the applications.
And it mentions, it sort of goes back to something we said earlier, from 2015 to 2025, better emulators, better tech, more tools. And it's the same with AI. There's more tools available to QA engineers. But if you haven't already tested them or even looked at them, you should start, because the standard is still going higher. Still, it will continue to grow, and you need to be looking into this. And even if you're not fully involved, you're just taking a look, learning a bit more about it and seeing what you can do, because that standard does keep raising, but the tools also are becoming more available, and it's making the QA job a lot faster in a way.
Yes. And soon, I bet like everything what you see is like everything is some AI API, and then you should start thinking like what's happening, what does it can do, and maybe it can backfire you if you're not really familiar with it. Did you put good rules for your toolings? How does this system work, what you now integrated to your own thing? So you need to test also the provider's capabilities, because maybe some horrible things can happen also if you don't test your new AI tools. And of course, wonderful opportunities if you can start to the company who is building this and testing this against. So it's a lot of opportunities, and some critical thinking is needed.
Yeah, you need to really think about it. You can't just jump in. You need to know what you're doing.
Yes.
Wonderful. So we are starting to come to the end of our time, but I did want to ask you how our listeners can follow your journey, where they can see maybe some events you're coming up, your work at Wolt, and if you have any shout outs you'd like to mention.
Of course. You can find me on LinkedIn with Pekka Pönkänen name. Let's see what next year will happen. Maybe speaking somewhere, who knows. And then, of course, shout out to my girlfriend Zoitza and our little girl who is coming soon to this world.
That's really cute. Oh, I'm touched. Oh, wonderful. Thank you so much for that. That was a really sweet end note. Thank you.
Thank you.
So yeah, thank you to Pekka. We'll close off this episode. You've been great. You've given us lots of QA insights, and it's really good to hear from someone from an app that has scaled so much and has such a customer-facing role. It's been great learning about your journey, the trends, looking into a bit of the future, and everything you've done to help Wolt's release process. And as mentioned, if you'd like to learn more about Pekka and his work, you can follow him on LinkedIn for any future speaking events and any work he's doing. And if you'd like to learn more about what we do at TestDevLab, we have a knowledge base where you can see our blog, our white papers, case studies, and of course, more episodes of Tech Effect. So thank you for joining us today, Pekka, and thank you for the audience for joining us. I'll see you in the next episode.